It's Cats and Coffee again, and we're so excited that you're here with us. Ray, how's it going? I see on your TouchNet channel that you are putting out a lot of great information and videos. And so
Yep.
again, we'll have the link below, and go on to Ray's TouchNet at Ray McCat. And what great fun you're having over there. And I'm so enjoy watching those segments. Everybody, you've got to go check them out and see them.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're gearing up for the Highland game season here, and I've been making some promotional spots and other things that having a lot of fun doing that to promote the new what's coming up for this year. There's a new festival in New Hampshire at Charlestown, New Hampshire. So that's the main one that you've seen me talking about that's going on up there. It's a great festival that's just beginning.
I can't wait to see it. And hopefully we'll see some footage on your channel from that. And by the way, I'll just go ahead and post the schedule since we're talking about the games and opening up the season. I'll post the
Okay.
schedule down below again. So people, if you're in the area, or even if you're not in the area and you'd like a little weekend trip or some fun place to go, plan to come out to the games and go by the Clan Hatton Association tent and say hi to Ray.
It's
Have,
right. Please come and see us.
have a coffee.
That's right. Cats and coffee.
I know I don't have my cat mug today. It's a different mug, but that's okay. I actually have two. It's a 2 coffee mug day, right?
There it is.
So we are moving on to spotlight and highlight another clan of the Clan Hatton Association, which is Clan MacBean. Now, I just spoke with Philip Beddoes, who is the Clan MacBean Shinahay. It's Gaelic and it's Shinahay. Do not pronounce the K at the end. Anyway, you'll see him at a later time make that pronunciation, but it's one of those Gaelic words. It's like
I
hat.
see.
Don't say it like chat. But at any rate, he is the historian, the genealogy for Clan MacBean, full of
Yes.
knowledge. And he also did let me know it is MacBean, everybody, MacBean,
Yes.
even though a lot of people say Bean and MacBean. And if your last name's it actually technically is MacBean, as we just heard. So I just want
Yes.
to throw that. That's my only contribution. Ray, take it away.
Right. Right. So it actually it actually comes from that the BH in it. It has a BH in the original name, which sounds like a V in Gaelic. So that an MH and BH are both a V sound in Gaelic. So you're really saying McVean. Some of the seps are McVean, McElvain, etc. So that's where that comes from. I just finished an article actually by I believe it the president chief of MacBean's father wrote it about his own grandfather, I believe, when he came to the United States. He was I believe he was talking about his own grandfather in one of the Clan Hatton journals. I think it was the 2004 edition, I believe. His grandfather actually changed the spelling from EAN, which he came over here with the EAN, BEAN, and everyone said the wrong pronunciation, and it spurred him to change his spelling to BAIN.
Yes, and I did know that. I heard that somewhere. And
Okay.
Houston, the current chief, Richard MacBean of MacBean, his grandfather was Houston, and he was the first Clan MacBean chief to be born in the United States.
Okay, then it was that man's father that changed the name, I believe.
More than likely. And then they had come down from Canada. And so again, when you hear a little bit more from Philip Beddoes, who will be on next week sometime, you'll hear about how they left Scotland, went back to
Okay.
Scotland, then went to Canada, and then eventually migrated down into the United States. But the current chief, Richard, and if you watch the inauguration when he became chief in 2022. I'll put at the end of this video a link to that so you can watch it. It's fascinating to watch. It was conducted by the Lord Lyon. Clan Hatton Association was there, many of the clan chiefs of the association. I was filming it, so you'll see my film below. But you will see and hear Philip Beddoes read out first in Gaelic and then in English the lineage. And Richard MacBean of MacBean is the hereditary chief of Clan MacBean. And a lot of people don't know that, or maybe think differently, because he is an American and he does
Yes.
in Arizona, but a dear friend of ours. And so I'm really excited to be talking about MacBean this month. They had a home and a ancestral land there that they kind of lost for different reasons, and you'll hear more about that in his discussion. They kind of lost it after the first Jacob uprising, actually, 1715.
Okay.
The place was actually mortgaged to the McGilvery, and they kind of lost track of that. And some people passed away, sons died, and that's not uncommon. And especially after the 1746, the Battle of Culloden, just depending on the situation, if a clan chief was present and fought on the side of the Jacobites, they were stripped of their lands and titles if they were sent away, if they were killed. The Highlands at that point were in such a bad situation that many people could not hold on to their lands and their properties, and went, went to the four corners of the earth, as it were. And so very unfortunately, there are many clan chiefs across the whole world. We have some in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the US, and
Yes.
that's just was a fact of life. Just a lot of times it was because for financial reasons they could not keep their property and their lands after all these wars.
Right. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be, going over what Philip's going to talk about next week, but why don't we talk about the original lands and such, and how MacBean became a clan. So in the 13th century, Clan Hatton had a chief, Dougal Dall, or Dougal Dall. He was the seventh chief of the Clan Hatton at the time. He was of the House of Lorne, which is a kingdom called Dalriada. Lorne is part of what's called a kennel, which means kindred, of Dalriada, which was a kingdom that it spanned from Antrim in northeastern Ireland in Ulster. It spanned from Antrim across the Irish Sea, Argyll, and many of those islands there. Not all of them, but a lot of that archipelago and islands between Ireland and Scotland, ending in Argyll. Not all of Argyll. That was Dalriada. So Dougal Dall came from that kingdom. He was the chief of Clan Hatton. In 1291, his daughter Eva was betrothed to the sixth chief of Macintosh, Angus Macintosh. Dougal Dall, the Hatton chief, did not have any other children. His daughter was his only child. He gave the chiefship of Hatton to the Macintosh at that time upon the marriage, or perhaps at his death. I'm not sure of that one. But his son-in-law became the new Hatton chief. Along with Eva, to the Macintosh lands came a man named Bain Domhnall More. Bain Domhnall More was a MacBean. He came along with Eva in the marriage train, or the marriage party, settled with the Macintoshes, as she did, and it was eventually given lands by the Macintosh. And at that point, it's believed that he became the first chief of MacBean. So that man came with her.
Yeah, and then the MacBeans throughout the history were just really tight with the Macintoshes in Clan Hatton. They started getting into it with the Commons. The Macintoshes and the MacBeans were on the side of Robert the Bruce. And
Yes.
And the Red Common, or John Common at that time, was very much an enemy to Robert the Bruce. He felt like he should be the King of Scotland and had a right to the throne. And if you watched the movie Robert the Bruce, and I did on another channel, I did a behind the scenes, the making of the movie Robert the Bruce, and I was
Uh,
able to interview Angus McFadden, who played Robert the Bruce, both in that movie and also Braveheart. He played Robert the Bruce in both Braveheart and the movie.
oh, I didn't realize it was the same guy. Okay.
Same guy, yeah, Angus McFadden. So he was quite
Huh.
knowledgeable about the time. But so as the story goes, and if you did watch the movie or if you know the history, and I know sometimes those movies rewrote history. Just keep that in mind, folks. Not everything on the
Right.
Braveheart was correct. Robert the Bruce went into a church with the Red Common, John Common, and Robert the Bruce came out, and the Red Common was dead inside of the church when Robert the Bruce came out. So
Yes.
this ensued a very long feud between the Macintoshes and the Commons. And we'll get more into that over time as we talk about feuds. I think it'd be fun to do a segment about feuds, just because those can be quite fascinating. But the Commons feuded fiercely with the Macintoshes, and for that matter, the MacBeans.
Is that
And
right?
there are several battles and fights in history, and there's one in particular which we can touch on more the next Cats and Coffee, where the Commons jumped some of the MacBeans during this period of time, and there was an axe that was embedded into another axe, making
Ah,
the sign of a cross.
is that right?
Yeah, so
Wow.
I'm going to go on next week's Cats and Coffee. We'll get into that story, and I'll send it over to you before, and so you can take a look at it. But it's really quite fascinating.
But just to surprise me, maybe. I haven't heard it, so I'll try not to look it up between times.
Yeah. So, and I don't know what information you'll find on it. We were just talking too about how there's so much information out there on the internet that is not true. And there's so much written in these books. I'm going to send you over one of these. I have two of these books. I have, this is one of my reference books, The Confederacy of
Oh,
Clan Hatton.
uh-huh.
It's Kith and Kin, and I have two copies of it. I'm gonna send you
Oh,
the nice, I will send you the nice one, Ray, so you can have it.
oh, thank you so much, Cindy. Oh my gosh.
But
Oh, I
but
can't wait.
still you find out there are some inaccuracies in here. So through the process of, looking up information, trying to check with the historians like Philip Beddoes and
Yes.
um, some of these books have some discrepancies. Here's the Kinrara. This was written back in 1609. You have a copy of this coming as well, Ray. That was written by Lachlan Mackintosh of Mackintosh in the 17th century. And then I also have this Clan Mackintosh and the Clan Hatton that I reference quite frequently as
Sure.
well. And but there can be discrepancies in these, but there's a document I just found out that is in Edinburgh in the archives that has never been published that does talk about this story about the axes with the MacBains. And so we will have that story ready to go for next week's Cats and Coffee.
Nice.
We'll still be spotlighting the MacBains, and we'll delve into that
Huh.
and some of what happened to the MacBains over time. But uh, they were very, very loyal to Clan Hatton and also to the Macintoshes throughout history, and
Yes.
lots of great history there.
Yeah, they're very, very closely aligned. And I know Philip can attest to this, but as far as the genealogy of everything goes, the MacBains are just, I'm sure other clans as well, but to my knowledge, the MacBains are just so all over genealogy. They're really dedicated to it religiously. You've seen the MacBean books. Clan MacBean books, the large red books about Clan MacBean's genealogy. I just saw a Facebook post this week about some lady had a blow up of an entry in the book, and it was so just written so well and detailed, and things that people would love to have preserved in 1,000 years, and they're going to be. It's great.
Oh, it's incredible how they have 5 or 6 people constantly working on the history and the genealogy, which is kind of intimidating to me as we're spotlighting, Clan MacBean, just to make sure we're going to get it right and we're going to
Yeah,
give the proper information, but they are on it. So it would be wonderful if every clan, had these people who were really just out there trying to find all the documents, trying to cross
right.
everything, trying to compile everything so that you know that for sure you have the correct history. And then, we were talking about how in previous Cats and Coffee, some of the churches that kept the archives burned to the ground.
Mhm.
Some of the libraries did from time to time. But in addition to that, things are being found almost constantly. New documents are being found and new
Uh-huh.
archives are being found that weren't taken into consideration previously. So now they're kind of cross-checking and cross-referencing those documents. So we here on Cats and Coffee do our very best to bring some fun little tidbits of information to you so you can enjoy learning a little bit more about these clans of the Clan Hatton Association, and in a fun way. And but we are by no means we're doing it. Ray knows a lot more than I do. I'm not
I'm
an
not.
expert.
I'm not sure, but I felt the same way on the run up to March, Cindy. I really did, because of the because the beans are so on top of things. I felt the same way, a bit nervous about taking on this particular one of the 12, and that'll happen several more times by the end of the year, folks. Nothing against any other clan, but believe me, they all have their road blocked for me, and it's been fun. I didn't think I knew a lot about Farquharson, but boy, now I do. And
You
now
know,
it's going to be MacBean. I'll be a MacBean scholar, I hope, by the end of this year, and all the other ones. So that's what it's about.
we'll be cadet experts. How about let's just say we'll have some information, and I think it's very fun because it's kind of forcing me to learn more, cross-check and reference things so that I can know more about what I'm talking about. But I'm finding this really fun. It's a fun journey, but it is a little intimidating. I'm glad to hear I wasn't the only one a little intimidated.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, so and the McBains, I'm not sure what they have on their schedule for this year, if they're having a big get together. They did have the inauguration in 2022. And so
Right.
many of the clans, just for everyone to know who's watching, many of the clans won't get together or have a gathering annually from the Clan Hatton Association. The Clan Hatton Association does have their annual AGM in August. So
Right.
this year it will be at the Kingsmill Hotel in Inverness on August the 1st, Thursday, August the 1st. And then of course, the Moy Country Fair, as it's now called, will be on the 2nd and the 3rd of August following. And then the
Okay.
clans, some of the other clans, Clan MacPherson has, sometimes they have a Kaylee, um,
Oh, it's all right.
yeah, down in Cluny, and some of the other clans have other events in and around the AGM, but generally speaking, most of these clans don't have a big gathering annually. Some do it every maybe 5 years.
Uh,
And when they do it and they hold these gatherings in Scotland, there's thousands of people that come. The McGillivrys, the McLeans had theirs last year. So when we spotlight McLean, we'll talk more with Alan McLean of Jock Carrick about
oh, nice.
gathering. I think he was expecting 5,000 to 7,000 people. So it's incredible. So if you belong to one of these major clans and you are interested in perhaps going to Scotland for one of their big gatherings, we're going to try to give you enough information in advance about those so that you can plan to attend, because it's incredible what they do, and the amount of people that they're able to host. over a week of events there in Scotland.
Wow.
Anyway,
Right. Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you can be a little bit of a clearinghouse of updating people and letting them know what's going on and et cetera. And that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
well, we're both, that's what we're both here for. We're gonna try and do our best and keep everyone updated. So what you got going on this coming week? Ray, have you got what will you be sharing online? Do you have, or do you want to keep it a secret now? You know, once again, like and subscribe to Ray's channel because you never know when he's going to put some fun thing out and you want to get that notification when it comes out.
Right. Yeah, that's the Touch Not channel she's talking about at Ray McCat. Uh, well, there's going to be a few MacBean segments this coming week. Uh, I'm working on about 3 or 4 right now, so I'm not sure which will be polished enough to come up at the first week of March. But there'll be some MacBean content in there, I'm sure. There's one guy that's so interesting. I'm not sure how to even. It'll have to be about 4 different things just for him because he's such a character. You'll figure out who that is eventually.
Are you
So
going to
he may take 2 or 3 episodes of his own just to cover that. We'll see.
keep it a secret for now?
Yeah.
That's okay. We will just have to watch and see what you're going to be able to share with everyone. I'm totally fascinated. And also too, the touch knots are going to be coming out, guys. So these are being printed as we speak. And so make sure you renew your membership for the Clan Hatton Association. The link is down below. Go to the clanhattanassociation.org.uk. You don't want to miss out on getting your special Touch Knot magazine, and where each inside, most all of the clans are highlighted and give a report about what they're doing around the world, upcoming things, some pictures of what was done last year. I know, Ray, you always do a really nice article for the Touch Knot. I'm sure you'll be in there as well.
Yeah. Thank you. It should be up very soon. In March, I would say.
Yeah.
Usually it is.
Yeah. So make sure you get on the mailing list now by making sure your membership is up to date.
Yeah.
And don't forget, it's a wonderful gift. I have given all of my family members this year the gift of membership.
In the interim number there, is it 5 years or 2 years? I'm sorry. That's a very good point to mention, I think. Is it 5 years or 2 years that's between one in life there?
I think it's a 5 year.
I should know this. Yeah, that's a very good opportunity that needs to get mentioned, I think.
It is a wonderful opportunity, and then you don't have to think about it for a while.
It's nothing like 5 times 1 year either. It's very affordable.
You know, it helps support the making of this Touch Not magazine and some of our other publications. We're having the new On the Trails printed, and the information in here is not new. It's just we're having them printed again. And yours might look like this, or yours might look like this. Again, very good information about all the different clans. I think I've shown this before just a little bit, but it just my intro on the YouTube channel, I just basically read off who we are. And then down along the bottom, you have a timeline of Clan Hatton when it was a confederation and then the association. And then it just kind of goes through and talks about areas in Scotland, areas of interest, and includes all of the different major clans of Clan Hatton. And then in the middle, I really like the one in the middle because there is a map of
Yes.
the Clan Hatton lands in Scotland. And so that's always great fun. Ray, do you have anything you want to add today to our?
I was going to say I like that little booklet because it has everything in one little package right there. You know, all 12 clans, some information about all of them. You go crazy trying to assemble it all yourself. That's a nice little packet to have, you know, to hand down to other generations even. That's a nice little book. It really is.
Well, it's a great little synopsis, for lack of a better word, only because or definition or description, because you know, as we were talking about history and books that were written by the different clans and Clan Hatton, this is an excellent overview, I feel like, of the clans of Clan Hatton and a timeline in history. So the Clan MacBean's here. The progenitors of Clan MacBean came from Lochaber to Petty in the 14th century, seeking the protection of the Macintoshes, having slain the Red Common Steward. Although its numbers were heavily depleted at the Battle of Harlaw in 1411, the clan remained an active member of the Confederation. Gillies MacBean is particularly remembered for his bravery at the Battle of Culloden. Today, there is a fine memorial park for the clan in its ancestral lands in Kinchile, overlooking Loch Ness near Doris, and that is where we were for the inauguration. So you'll see more of that footage. And I remember playing there when we some things had been stolen from that memorial park. It's beautiful. It sits on the edge of Loch Ness. It's a beautiful little drive up to the side of the mountain. And a few years back, Richard MacBean had to replace the cats that were stolen.
Oh,
So now there's a plaque. I'll show it below. But now there's a plaque telling visitors that they're just painted to look like bronze. They're not actually bronze anymore, so please don't steal them. But
right.
it's a little walking path, and I did do some of that in the inauguration. I posted some of the walking along the path that just gives more history about the clan there. So if you're in the Inverness area near Loch Ness, don't miss visiting the MacBean Memorial Park.
Right.
So
Okay, I've decided to give you one little snippet of a story for next week, all right?
okay.
So a soldier, he's on the front lines of a battle, I believe in Germany or Holland. He took his wife with him on this particular adventure, and she had their children in the back lines waiting back with her. Something happened. She handed one child to a woman, and that woman came up to the front because she found out her husband had been hurt there. She had his son with her. He says, she threw the baby at me. I was obliged to put him in my haversack. And the poor child was subsequently shot by a bullet. He had him dressed and taken care of and passed him off to someone else, and he just went on his battle. So this is one of the small little snippets of this guy's life. It's that crazy. So that a lot of those, there's about 20 of those little things in there, and it's going to take a while to sort of do that.
Well, I can't wait. But you do it in a fun way. You do it so you keep it kind of short and sweet, but in a way that, we can listen to it and get on with our daily life. But I find it's a fun little escape from your day, whatever you're doing for your day, whatever your work is. You have a minute if you have to wait in your car somewhere like I do with my profession.
Yeah.
It's fun to pull it up and just listen to the little bits and pieces. And so it'll be fun to listen to about this man's life. I can't wait. I'm so intrigued to hear more about it.
Thanks. I'm glad you like the length of them. That's important to know. Thank you.
Well, I think it's good. It's sometimes it's fun just to see something for a few minutes, and then sometimes it's something that's more lengthy and informative is also nice as well.
Sure.
But people always on the run and very busy in our daily lives, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Notice everyone out there watching the Touchnut channel. I'm very low on feedback, such as Cindy just mentioned. So I would appreciate anything that you'd like to mention, what you'd like to see coming up, or what you like that we've already done. Anything at all, please let us know.
And give us a thumbs up. It lets us know. And it's really hard. And I know people like to be anonymous. People don't like to chime in. We want you to. We want you to chime in and let us know what you're enjoying, what you would like to see.
Right.
You're doing that. Let Ray know how appreciative you are for all of the time he's given to all of this. And thank you to your wife as well, because she is very patient. I know.
Oh, I'll tell her. Thank you. That's
know.
Wanda. I'll tell her.
Yeah, Wanda. Shout out to Wanda. Thank you very much for all the patience. I know my husband Ken, because it's we're busy doing this, but we love it. It's our passion in life. We love it. So I absolutely love it.
Yeah, we're all a clan here, so let's participate.
Yes.
Speak up. Let us know what you think, please.
Yes, chime in. And also send pictures over of where you're at. If you're wearing your tartan, you're doing something having to do with your Scottish history and heritage, let us know what you're doing. We want to see you, no matter where you are, no matter what it is that you're doing. If it has anything to do at all with Clan Association or with your clan, anything Scottish, send it on over.
That's right. That's right. If you'd like to collaborate with something I'm doing, give me some ideas on anything, please don't hesitate, please. I have some ideas, but they're not always the best or the only ones, certainly.
No, you're doing a great job. And yeah, and also on this channel here below, the Clan Hatton Association YouTube channel, please post to us. Let us know what you'd like, and we'll get together and we'll make it happen.
Yes, please.
Ray, thank you so much for another Cats and Coffee. I know that there wasn't a heck of a lot of fun stuff this week, but next week
Been a pleasure.
is going to be really interesting. So until then, enjoy learning more about MacBean and the Clan MacBean history. And we will see you next week.
Already touch not a cat, but a Taj, and touch not.
Touch not.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye for now.